On December 26, 1996, JonBenét Ramsey, a 6-year-old beauty pageant contestant, was found dead in the basement of her family's home in Boulder, Colorado. Hours earlier, her parents, John and Patsy Ramsey, had reported her missing and discovered a ransom note demanding $118,000. Despite the note, JonBenét was never kidnapped, and her body was later found inside the home, strangled and with a head injury. Early that morning, Patsy Ramsey called the police after finding a ransom note demanding $118,000, an amount that coincidentally matched John Ramsey's end-of-year work bonus. Hours later, John Ramsey discovered JonBenét's body in the basement. She had been strangled with a garrote made from a cord and a broken paintbrush, and there were signs of blunt force trauma to her skull. Despite the ransom note, JonBenét had not been taken, raising suspicions immediately about the circumstances of her death. The case attracted massive media attention and scrutiny. Initially, the investigation focused on the Ramsey family themselves, John, Patsy, and their 9-year-old son, Burke. The police found it odd that there were no signs of forced entry into the home and questioned the authenticity of the ransom note. It was unusually long and written on paper from inside the house, fueling theories that the family might be involved in staging the crime scene. Despite the intense scrutiny, the Ramseys maintained their innocence. Over the years, the investigation branched out, and other potential suspects were considered, but no one was ever formally charged. The case remains unsolved. Popular theories. The Ramsey family. One of the most enduring theories is that a family member, possibly Patsy or Burke, accidentally killed JonBenét, and the ransom note was a cover-up. Patsy, who wrote the note, was especially scrutinized because of its personal tone and suspicious length. However, DNA evidence later seemed to clear the family. An intruder. Another theory suggests an outside intruder broke into the house and murdered JonBenét. Evidence, like an open window in the basement and unknown male DNA found on JonBenét's clothing, supports this theory. However, the ransom note and lack of signs of forced entry complicate this idea. Other suspects. Over the years, several individuals emerged as potential suspects, including known pedophiles and people acting suspiciously in the Boulder area. In 2006, a man named John Mark Carr falsely confessed to the crime, but his DNA did not match evidence found at the scene. Other leads were pursued, but none led to any charges or convictions. Mistakes in the investigation. One of the reasons the case has remained unsolved is the series of errors made by law enforcement in the initial hours after JonBenét's body was found. The house was not secured as a crime scene, and several people were allowed to walk through, potentially contaminating evidence. Additionally, the decision to focus heavily on the Ramseys early on meant that other leads were neglected for a significant period of time. Notable facts. The ransom note was 3 pages long, an unusually lengthy demand for a kidnapping. The $118,000 requested matched John Ramsey's recent work bonus, raising suspicion about the note's legitimacy. In 2008, the Ramsey family was officially cleared by the Boulder County District Attorney after new DNA testing found that an unknown male's DNA was present on JonBenét's clothing, excluding the family as suspects. Patsy Ramsey died in 2006 from ovarian cancer without ever seeing her daughter's killer brought to justice. Media frenzy. The murder of JonBenét Ramsey quickly became a media sensation. The combination of the family's wealth, JonBenét's public image as a beauty pageant contestant, and the bizarre details of the case captivated the public. Newspapers, TV shows, and documentaries speculated endlessly about the family's involvement, adding layers of controversy to an already tragic case. Current status. To this day, JonBenét's murder remains one of the most famous unsolved cases in American history. Although the family has been exonerated by DNA evidence, there is still no definitive answer about who killed JonBenét or why. The case continues to fascinate and frustrate, with new theories emerging but no clear resolution in sight. Additional theories. Burke did it theory, a controversial theory surfaced in the 2016 CBS documentary, The Case of JonBenét Ramsey, suggesting that JonBenét's brother, Burke, could have accidentally killed her during a sibling argument, and the parents covered it up to protect him. Burke has vehemently denied this, even filing a defamation lawsuit over the claim. The Santa Claus theory. Some investigators speculated about a man who had dressed as Santa Claus at the Ramseys' Christmas party days before JonBenét's death. Bill McReynolds, the man who played Santa, was considered a suspect briefly but was ultimately ruled out. However, the oddness of his behavior and proximity to the family kept this theory alive in public speculation for years. The enduring mystery, the JonBenét Ramsey case has become more than just an unsolved murder, it's a cultural phenomenon. Books, movies, and documentaries continue to explore the case, each with their own theories about what might have happened that night. The intrigue surrounding JonBenét's death, combined with the tragic circumstances of a young life cut short, ensures that the mystery will likely endure for years to come. The crime scene and ransom note. The ransom note has always been one of the most perplexing elements of the case. Written on 3 pages from a notepad found inside the Ramsey home, it demanded $118,000 for JonBenét's safe return, a specific amount that matched John Ramsey's work bonus. The note was unusually long for a ransom demand and contained odd phrases like "we are a small foreign faction," which led investigators to believe it was not written by a professional kidnapper. Handwriting experts were unable to conclusively match the note to any of the Ramseys, though some found similarities between the note and Patsy Ramsey's handwriting. JonBenét's beauty pageant image. JonBenét Ramsey was known for competing in child beauty pageants, and the media often emphasized this aspect of her life. The pageants had a dual effect on public perception. While some saw JonBenét as an innocent victim, others viewed the pageants as problematic, contributing to an early sexualization of young girls. This image may have influenced the sensational media coverage, painting the Ramseys as a family immersed in a world of glamour and appearance, which added more layers to the controversy. DNA evidence and the Ramseys' exoneration. In 2008, after re-examining DNA found on JonBenét's clothing, the Boulder District Attorney officially cleared the Ramsey family of involvement. The DNA belonged to an unidentified male, neither John, Patsy, nor Burke. This breakthrough was significant because it shifted focus away from the family and strengthened the theory of an unknown intruder. However, critics argue that the DNA could have come from secondary transfer, meaning it may not necessarily belong to the killer. Media coverage and public scrutiny. The JonBenét Ramsey case quickly became one of the most publicized murder investigations of the 1990s. The press scrutinized every detail of the Ramsey family's life, and conspiracy theories flourished. Some media outlets focused heavily on JonBenét's beauty pageant participation, which sparked debates about child pageants and the exploitation of children. The intense media attention often hindered the investigation, turning the case into a media circus. Notable suspects. John Mark Carr. In 2006, Carr, a schoolteacher, falsely confessed to JonBenét's murder, claiming he was with her when she died. However, his DNA did not match the evidence, and he was quickly dismissed as a suspect. Carr's strange obsession with JonBenét raised questions about why he would falsely confess, but it ultimately led nowhere. Bill McReynolds. McReynolds, a local man who played Santa Claus at the Ramseys' Christmas party, was briefly considered a suspect. McReynolds had an odd fascination with JonBenét and reportedly gave her a special visit just days before her murder. However, Investigators ruled him out as a suspect after finding no evidence linking him to the crime. The housekeeper, Linda Hoffman Pugh, the family's housekeeper, was also considered a suspect. She knew the layout of the house, and some investigators speculated that she or someone she knew might have been involved. However, there was no concrete evidence against her, and she was ultimately cleared. Legal battles and Burke Ramsey's lawsuit. In 2016, CBS aired a documentary that revived the theory that Burke Ramsey, JonBenét's brother, may have accidentally killed her during a sibling dispute. This theory suggested that the Ramseys covered up the crime to protect their son. Burke strongly denied these claims and filed a defamation lawsuit against CBS and several individuals involved in the production. The lawsuit was settled privately. Advances in forensic technology. The case remains open, with many hoping that advances in DNA and forensic technology will eventually lead to a breakthrough. New methods of analyzing trace evidence and using genealogical databases have solved other cold cases, giving hope that JonBenét's killer might still be identified. Cultural impact. The murder of JonBenét Ramsey left a lasting impact on American culture. The case became a touchstone for discussions about media ethics, child protection, and law enforcement practices. Numerous books, films, and documentaries have been produced, each adding their own theories and speculations. The case's unresolved nature continues to fuel interest and debate, making it one of the most enduring mysteries in modern history. Recent developments. As of 2024, there have been no significant breakthroughs in the case. Investigators continue to re-examine old evidence, and private investigators are still looking into new leads. The Ramsey family, though exonerated, remains a subject of public fascination, particularly Burke, who continues to maintain a low profile despite media speculation about his involvement. JonBenét's death left a permanent scar on her family, the Boulder community, and the wider world. The unanswered questions continue to loom large. Who wrote the ransom note? Why did the family's behavior seem so strange? And most importantly, who really killed JonBenét Ramsey? With advancements in forensic technology, there's always hope that one day, the truth will finally come to light. This case will likely remain a subject of fascination until the day it's solved. Thank you for watching this deep dive into the tragic and still unsolved case of JonBenét Ramsey. As we continue to search for answers, let's remember the innocent life at the heart of this mystery. If you found this video informative, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next investigation. Together, we can help shed light on the truth. See you in the next one.